He'll sit him out, but I definitely would expect him to see some action next week.
Well, I think they're going to need his height against some of the better teams.
Yeah, no question about that, and he gives them that extra man too. Norristown with Mares might be 9 or 10 deep, and that is going to be quite a load for teams in the Suburban League to handle. Simmons at the top of the key, over to Thomas. Thomas underneath, Hollenbach ready with the interception, loses the ball. And the Norristown Eagles, Jeff Thomas, the inbounds to the left-hand side of their basket. Thomas looks, find Craig Jones. Jones back to Thomas in the corner. Thomas on the dribble to Harrell. Harrell over to Lever. Ball goes past him, out of bounds, and it's the Penridge Rams ball moving up court. This is a time when players can get careless, and I'm sure this will not make Cresswell happy. He wants to see these players work the ball, get good shots, and keep the pressure on. Defense is falling back into a zone, 2-3. Thomas and Simmons chasing out front. There's Carlin, over to Landis. Landis goes to Fellman. Fellman moves to the right, comes back to Carlin. Carlin over to Landis deep. Landis underneath, intercepted by Harrell. Harrell waiting for that pass. Telegraph, no doubt about the chance to pick it off. Lever on the move, heading up to his right. Comes back to Simmons. Simmons into Harrell underneath. Harrell looks for Thomas, finds him on the move. Let's see what the call is. No basket, walking with the ball, but nice ball movement for Norristown. Good pass from Harrell, looking for Thomas underneath. Finds him. One step too many for Thomas, though.
This second team really shares the ball well.
And that's, again, one of the things Coach Cresswell told me before the game. He wants to see, he told the team that he expected to see them to be moving the ball around and less one-on-one. And I think the words that he must have had last night during the game and the night before the game have paid off. Penridge to inbounds underneath. Carlin over to Landis. Landis comes outside to Fellman. Simmons playing him. Over to Carlin. Carlin moves in, back to Fellman deep. Fellman over to Landis in the corner. Looks for the shot, but Lever's all over him. Cross court. Carlin didn't have a shot. Fellman on the jumper. Off the back of the rim. Thomas on the rebound. Looking down court, fast break. Over to Simmons. What a pass. Thomas on the bounce pass. Have to be happy with that play. Thomas with a pass. Simmons with a basket. 77-31. 6 minutes. 10 seconds left. Thomas on the steal to Harrell. Harrell on the move. Harrell around and scores. Norristown 79, Penridge 31 with 6 minutes left in the ball game. As I said, the only thing of interest is now, do you think Norristown can score 100 points? Will they reach the century mark? Piersnick on the steal, over to Fellman. Fellman dribbling up court, drives to center, tries to hit Landis, ball off of Simmons' leg. Rams will retain possession. And I was wrong. Number 23, Rich Mayers, does come into the ballgame for Norristown.
Well, I think you got to work him in now. You got to give him some playing time. You can't let the kid get frustrated. He's got to know that he isn't forgotten.
And number 14, still Steve Ballroth, 5'8" senior, also in the lineup for Norristown. Mayers is a guy who can really help Norristown this year. He played really well in the playoffs last year. And Coach Cresswell has to be counting on him, but he was ineligible for the first few games. Makes his presence felt with a rebound down to Jones on the drive, and there's a foul on number 11, Fellman of the Rams. And Cresswell has Mayers in there for exactly that purpose. Get those rebounds, trigger that fast break. On the inbound pass, it's Volroth with a long shot. Yes! Nothing but net. Steve Volroth with a field goal, and it's 82-31 Norristown. Carlin with the ball for the Rams. Ball knocked away. Harrell tries to save and runs 5 rows up into the stand.
I just can't get over the hustle and teamwork of this second team. There's a lot of schools around where they would be a starting team, and they look like they've been playing together all summer.
You can be sure that they're thinking this is their time when they can impress Cresswell. And the more they can impress him, the more likely they are to get playing time.
But you know, many times a second team will come in and they'll try to score. Each player will want to score a lot of points. But they really have teamwork. They're unselfish. They're looking for the open man. They're really playing team ball. And Cresswell's, he's got to like that.
That last play, Harrell really hustled to try to save it. If this had been the PW game, he would have been in the laps of some of the fans. But this game tonight, in honesty, is rather sparsely attended. Fairly good crowd on the Norristown side, but a long trip for the Penridge fans. And with the bad weather conditions outside, it's not surprising that there are not that many of them here. Norristown has not let up with the defensive pressure. They are playing, they're hustling, they're keeping up their intensity. And this is the kind of ball game where it would be very easy to just get sloppy and not play hard. Penridge Rams on the move. Barnt with the ball. Try by Simmons for the steal. Over to Piersnick. Piersnick looks for Feldman. Stolen by Craig Jones. Looks for Vollrath up, and Feldman intercepts. And we're starting to get a little sloppy. Over to Dvorak. Dvorak to Feldman. Vollrath tries for the steal and runs into number 21, Stan Dvorak. Dvorak is a 10th grader playing for Penridge, another one of the underclassmen that Coach Damroz will be able to count on next year.
You know, I've been watching Mayers, Jim, and he's looking good out there. He's looking like a guy who's trying to work his way back into the starting lineup. He didn't stop moving at all when we had the ball. He moved around. He had a lot of motion, much more than our big men had in the PW game. When I remember I was complaining they weren't moving enough.
Mayers presents an interesting dilemma for Cresswell. Who's he going to replace in that starting lineup? You have Johnson and Flowers, who are your outside threats. You certainly don't want to take one of them out. What it does give them is a very strong six-man up front to go in and help in case somebody like Evans tonight gets into foul trouble. Jones on the fast break on the move. Inside with a shot, no good. Harrell with a tap, no good. Hitting the boards. Jones again. Ball goes out of bounds off of number 53, Piersnick. And once again, there were the Eagles keeping that ball alive, trying getting that second, third, and fourth shot. Crashing the boards. Ball back to Vollrath, over to Simmons. Simmons to the right. Mayers with his first shot, in and out. He certainly would have liked to have made that one. And on the rebound, number 31, Jeff Capel for the Rams. The move up court. The foul is on number 11, Simmons.
Of course, you'd like to see Mayer score, but he can be very intimidating under that basket. I like the way he plays defense. He gets his arm around in front of the player without fouling him. He's looking pretty good out there.
For the Rams, number 53, Piersnick on the foul line. First shot is up and good, making it 82-32 in favor of the Eagles. Piersnick waiting on the sideline. Arnold's waiting to come in, must be coming in for the shooter. Some hesitation there, some uncertainty, as though they were not sure who he was coming in for. Piersnick with the shot up, good. And Piersnick is replaced by Arnold. It's 82 for the Eagles, 33 for the Rams. 3 minutes and 58 seconds left in the ball game. A lot of points to score, but even let's see whether they can hit that 90 mark. Ball is into Jones, tries to force it underneath. Ball picked off in the hands of Arnold. Over to Carlin, who moves it up court. There are Simmons and Jones playing him, looking for the open man, finds Arnold. Arnold tries to hit DeVore underneath, does. Jump shot tried by Arnold. The foul appears to be on Mayers underneath. Must have hit him with his body. And the Rams go to the foul line for 2 shots. Mark Arnold, another 11th grader. Keep in mind, Penridge, very young team. 7 of their 9 players will be returning next year. Arnold, another left-hander, just like Carlin, makes the first shot. 82-34 Eagles. He's ready with the second one. Ball is up and good. 82-35. Vollrath on the dribble, handling the ball, moves to his right, comes back to the left, finds Simmons moving up. Simmons on the bounce pass underneath. Mayer's turnaround jumper, no good. Craig Jones on the rebound, good. Craig Jones, 6 foot 1 inch, 11th grader. Got up high that time, tapped the ball in. 84-35 Norristown. Carlin on the dribble, over to Dvorak, back to Carlin, moving in, looks for the man, finds Barnt, Barnt cross court, nobody there. Terrell on the dribble, back to Vollrath. Vollrath looks for the three-pointer. Simmons on the move, pass to Jones, yes, and there's another very good assist. Louis Simmons on a great pass driving the baseline, finds Jones underneath, hits him for the pass. 2 points for the Eagles, who now lead 86-35. Shot by Barnt, misses.
Boy,
ball
there was an
thrown
example
away.
of what Mayers can do. He got up there way above that rim. It's a shame some of these second-team players are seniors, Jim. There are a lot of other schools around here where they'd be starters for sure.
Hitting it a lot for Norristown is Adelio Gonzalez, the 6 foot 5, 10th grader that Coach Cresswell is very high on. The more game experience that they can get him, the happier Cresswell will be. Ball to Harrell on the drive, lays it up, give the assist to Vollrath, hitting the open man. And once again, the Eagles show how they look for that open man, unselfishly give the ball up. Carlin in the corner. Dvorak with the ball across to Barnt. Barnt on the fake, shoots Hurley, misses, rebound Mayers. Mayers to Vollrath, on the move up the right side of the court, on the dribble, drives into the right-hand corner, still on the move, passes off to Gonzalez, the sophomore who scores his first 2 points for Norristown, and they're probably his first 2 points as a varsity player. Harrell tries to make the steal, hits the ball off Penridge's number 33, Bernie Carlin, and the Eagles will take over in front of their own bench, Vollrath to trigger the inbounds pass. Eagles set up, Harrell moves to the outside, Smears, Gonzalez underneath, and there's a player that we don't know in the lineup for Norristown. He's wearing number 20, but I have no idea who he is. Gonzalez on a jump shot, fouled by Jeff Capel, 6 foot 6, 11th grader, tallest player in the Pinwich Rams lineup.
I'll tell you, Jim, I thought Norristown had to do it this year because next year would be a rebuilding year. But they have a lot of talent out there, and if this guy Gonzalez comes through, he'll have the height. They're going to be very competitive next year.
Once again, the more game experience they can have, the better they're going to be. Gonzalez misses both shots, and it looks like he needs some foul shot practice. Both were almost bricks. Ball stolen in the hands of Harrell. It was Vollrath on the inner. Over to Harrell, ball in and out. Tip no good by Mayers, battling underneath with a shot. Mayers tries to follow, and he is fouled by the Rams. 90 for the Eagles, 35 for the Rams. 1 minute and 9 seconds left in the ball game. And you just have to know that in the back of the Eagles' Mayers, it's not the idea of running up the score. They'd love to hit the century mark. You don't get many chances to do that in high school ball.
Well, and you can't tell players who are always sitting on the bench waiting to get out there, you can't tell them to go out there and not score.
No, and I'm sure Coach Domras for Penridge knows that. Mayers misses the first shot, and all of a sudden the Eagles' foul shooting has gone south. What was earlier one of their stronger points now appears to be something causing them a little bit of trouble. Mayers with the second one, hits net, 91-35 Eagles as the clock approaches the 1 minute mark. And Penridge will certainly have to be happy to get out of here. It's not a good night for them, but they knew coming in that they were going to be facing a tough team. They had their pregame jitters, according to their coach, and his worst fears were realized. Long shot, nothing but air. 21 on the rebound, yes. Nice turnaround shot by 10th grader Stan Dvorak for the Rams. Vollrath up to Mears, on the drive, underneath with the layup. 93-37. Harrell is playing him all over. You know he hopes, he intercepts the ball. Harrell on the drive, up, good.
That was incredible, Jim. Harrell's probably the slowest player out there, and he made that steal and score.
Penridge moving up court, Carlin with the ball. Another interception, this time it's Gonzalez. On the move, looks around, and he gets hit by Mark Arnold, body on the floor, and it will send Gonzalez to the line once again. 5 seconds left. Norristown Eagles 95, Penridge Rams 37.
I'll tell you, the starting team on the bench is really enjoying this. They're cheering for the players. They're all over there enjoying it and smiling. I hope they get more opportunities to do this.
Gonzalez makes the first shot. It's 96-37. Cresswell has to be happier tonight than he was last night. You don't expect to win by this much, but his players performed, did what he asked them to do, and certainly showed the teamwork that had been missing. Second shot off the front of the rim. There goes a long pass, shot off the board, no good. Norristown finishes the game with a 96-37 victory over the Penridge Rams. Penridge will be back. This is going to be a learning year for them. With 7 of their 9 players coming back next year, certainly Coach Domraz expects better things. All he can hope for this year is that they learn to play under the pressure cooker that basketball can be here in the Suburban League, and that as they get into next year, they will have learned some of their lessons, and they will be much more ready to play and to perform capably in this very tough Suburban League that they are in.
And I'll tell you, Cresswell's going to have no worries next year. He's got a lot of 11th grade talent out there. I was really surprised. I hope we get more opportunities to see some of these fellas play. Of course, the competition coming up is going to be a lot tougher. I was surprised how close the game was last week between Plymouth Whitemarsh and Abington. That game went down to the wire because I didn't think Abington was going to be that strong this year, but we know Plymouth Whitemarsh is strong. They should have beat Norristown if their foul shooting had been better.
I was looking in the Inquirer today. I was hoping that there would be some area ratings out, but I have not seen them. Norristown has been as highly rated as number 2 in the state in some services. Plymouth Whitemarsh was ranked 18th in the Middle Atlantic region, and with Norristown's victory over them and also over a very good Downingtown team, I think that Norristown, we're going to see the Eagles in maybe the top 5 in this section of the state. Certainly Gratz in Philadelphia is going to probably be the number 1 team. They are a very deep team. They've lost some players to injury, including one unfortunate incident where their leading ball player was shot on his way home from practice. But they still have depth, and they still have a very, very good team. It would not surprise me at all to find the Eagles sitting in that number 2 spot. Chester also has to be reckoned with this year. They opened with a very impressive victory, and featuring their leading scorer, one of their leading players from last year, Zane Shaw, who got 30 points. Another team to watch out for will be Penwood, returning Rap Curry, who certainly has to be one of the outstanding players, already committed to St. Joseph's next year. And then next week, we find the Eagles, Central Bucks East Tuesday night here at the Eagles home court. North Penn away on Thursday in what could be a tough league game. And finally, next Friday, Coatesville, always an outstanding team. Certainly mindful of their game last year where Norristown blew them out in the playoffs, will come here to the gymnasium to meet the Eagles. Those of you out there who like good high school basketball, mark that date on your calendar, December 22nd. The Coatesville Red Raiders coming here to play the Norristown Eagles. It's a game you don't want to miss. We'll learn a lot more about the Eagles. And if the Eagles can be 6-0 next week, look for them to be definitely in the top 5 and maybe either number 1 or number 2 in the East. Frank, do you have some statistics to give us for the high scores?
Well, they're not official, but I have just Jeff Thompson with 18, Binky Johnson with 14, Flowers with 12, and Evans with 14. But I don't know how official they are.
Okay, well-balanced scoring. We'll look forward to this. These are the voices of the Eagles, Jim Nelson and Frank Winkle. Hope to see you here Tuesday night against Central Bucks East.